Class, can you see the screen? Kindly tell me in chat. Do you see AutoCAD? Great. And you can hear my voice. Great. That's fine. So, class, our next assignment is footing layout plan. You have to make the footing layout plan or the excavation plan for your house projects. It is very simple to make. You can write down a few steps. Simply following these steps, you would easily make this plan and corresponding sections to it. Look, first of all, these lines, I'll go in model. First of all, these lines, this one and this one. What are these? These are basically taken from the architectural ground floor plan. These are showing the width of the wall. So what you are going to do is you're going to simply copy your ground floor plan and while copying the ground floor walls, you should turn off windows layer and doors layer. It means when you are going to copy the whole plan, windows and doors would not be copied when they would be turned off. Simply copy the walls to the side. Then next is to make the walls continuous, means that under door and under windows there would be wall continuation, right? So these two walls are basically showing these two lines are basically showing the width of the wall. If you have any questions, you can write down in chat and I would answer them later. Next is this line. This is the center line. You can easily mark the center line of the walls. Simply give the offset equal to half of the width of the wall, and you can show the center lines, right? You also have to give the dimensions of the center line. If let's say you want to, uh, you give the dimension line and the units are different, then what should you do? You should go into the properties of the dimension, de-enter. I'm saying that if you mark the dimension line and the units of dimensions are different, you have to set the units of the dimension. For that, you have to press D. It would open this window, which is Dimension Style Manager. And you have to go into Modify. Okay. This pop-up window would appear. You have to give uh, color to the dimension line. White is appropriate. And keep this line type and line weight by layer and by block. Uh, Extension lines are these lines which show that up to which point the dimension line is showing the distance. Keep these things as such. And what is this? Extend beyond dimension line and offset from origin. It means this is offset from origin from the object to the start of the dimension line. This is offset from origin. And extend beyond dimension line means that ahead of the dimension line, how much it should go. Symbol and arrows, keep it to arrow. Arrow size, keep it to whatever it is, 3 over 32 inches. But it can be changed depending upon the size of the project you are doing. Now text. Roman color. Color would be dependent upon the layer of the text that you have decided. You can keep that color, and you have to basically set the units over here. Set the units to architectural and precision of the units as well. That's it. Press OK, and you would press set current and close. Right? In this way, your dimension line will be set and let me just change the internet connection. There's some problem with the internet. I would change it. Last, can you see the screen? Okay. Okay, we are going to continue. So where this is used, this is basically used in the layout. You know what is layout? You have done it in the survey. Layout means that on the site, first of all, you have to do the layout with the help of center lines. Property limit is already marked. Inside the property, you have to lay out the walls and other structural components for which you have to excavate the ground and provide the foundation. Normally, one corner of the property is taken as the benchmark, which you know is a fixed point and it cannot be changed. And the distance from that corner is given to your any corner of the building. Okay, just as a reference. So coming back to this plan, you can these two lines, sorry, are basically this one and this one. These are basically what happened. Yes, this one and this one. These are basically showing the wall, and this you are going to simply copy. Next line is the center line. Simply give offset equal to half of the width of the wall. Then you can see these lines. These lines. What are these? These are basically, it is basically this line and this line, right? Sorry. It is basically this line and this line, right? So what are these? This is the width of foundation, right? So telling you from this section, first of all, these two lines you have picked from the architectural plan. first lines. Then this line is the center line, which you have marked yourself. Third lines are these two lines in the plan, which is showing the width of the footing. And lastly, you would have these two lines, which is showing the width of the excavation. Width of the PCC layer or lean concrete is basically the width of excavation, right? So coming back to plan, center line at the center, then the wall width, then the uh, width of the foundation, and lastly the width of the excavation or width of the PCC pad. In this way, you are going to draw your plan, right? You're going to complete your whole plan. Then for different types of walls, you are going to mark section. Different types of walls, you are going to mark section. I'm going to tell you what are different types of walls. First of all, let us see this section. Let me just move it to the side. Look, first of all, this is the normal load carrying wall, 9 inches wide. It can be also 13 and a half or 18 inches wide in some of the plans. For this wall, this is the ground finish floor level. FFL level means finished floor level. If you put a G before that, it would be ground finish floor level. Now, floor on both of the sides of this wall is at the same height, same level. So you would provide a single DPC layer, right? You have studied what is DPC in your theory classes. Uh, DPC 1.5 inches thick, PCC 1:1.5:3, or rich cement PCC is can be taken as rich cement concrete, can be taken as damp proof course. In addition to this, you should provide 2 coats of hot bitumen layer and a layer of good quality polythene sheet, right? I would add these details over here and I would send it to you. Now, when you go below the NSL, you place the foundation. You have to provide a 3-step foundation, and under the 3-step foundation, you have to provide a layer of lean concrete, right? So this is a normal load carrying wall of 9 inches thickness width, right? Second case can be second case can be this one. Now this is a wall which is at the property limit. Look, let's say this is the property limit. This is, let's say, the property limit. Now you cannot go outside the property, so your foundation would be only on the one side, right? So FFL At the level of finished floor, you are providing one horizontal layer of damp proof course, and there is another level which is known as road level. Road level is always higher than the natural surface level or natural soil level in an area. And 3 foot over here is the depth of excavation. And over here are four stepped foundation, but you are going to provide three stepped foundation. Yes, this is Uzair, this is over here. It is four-step foundation, but you are going to make a three-step foundation for load carrying walls. Okay, we are running out of time. If the time ends, I would start a new class. Okay. Then there is a load carrying wall. This one. Where is pan? Then there is a load carrying wall. Look, uh, in which the flow levels are at different level. This normally you would find in the exterior walls. The wall which is uh, which is on the outer periphery of your building, and on the outer side you have passage. It is not the property limit, but you have a passage on the outer side. In such cases, you know that the inner floors of the building are higher as compared to the outer floors. So what you're going to do, you are going to provide a C type dam proof course. You can see there are three dam proof courses over here. The upper layer is known as upper horizontal DPC. The lower layer is known as lower horizontal DPC, and the vertical one is known as the vertical DPC. So basically, if I show you that under this floor there would be a backfill material, and from the backfill material the moisture would enter the wall. Similarly from this side, similarly under the inner floor there would be moisture and it would try to penetrate inside the wall, right? So what we are doing is, whatever moisture is over here, it would it would try to rise, right? And it would be stored by this horizontal lower horizontal DPC layer. Now, whatever moisture would try to penetrate inside the wall from this side would be stored by this vertical DPC layer. And if any of these two layers fail, vertical DPC or lower horizontal DPC, if they fail, then this would be the second line of defense. The upper horizontal DPC would be second line of defense, and it would stop the moisture from rising up, right? Remember, this vertical DPC is always on the inner side. If it is provided over here on the outer side, it won't work. So it would only work when it is applied on the inner side. Why? Because moisture is entering from this side. That is the reason. Uh, yes, there is a question from Uzair 103. Can the depth of foundation differ in a building? No. Normally, the foundations are provided at the same level. You are saying that post level is 1 feet below the ground floor level or the inner floor level, so its foundation may go 1 feet extra deep. The foundation depth is not concerned with the ground floor level or the plinth level or the road level. The foundation level is is the foundation level is, there's a question. Okay, I will answer it later. The foundation level is only related to NSL level. So NSL level is below the road level. It is below the porch level. It is below the floor level, right? So normally the foundations are at the same level. There is another question. What does APAD means? There are a lot of abbreviations. Uh, we always write between NSL and road level, we write as per site because we control our elevations from road level because road level is fixed. NSL level is variable, so we write as per site because it would be varying along the length of the road, right? APAD means as per architectural drawing, as per architectural drawing, right? Hopefully this is clear. So we have discussed three sections. Okay, yes, let me tell you what is going to be detail of the vertical DPC. We have already discussed the detail of horizontal DPC. For the vertical DPC, what you can do is you can provide 3 or 4 inches thick DPC of rich cement sand mortar, 1:3. You can add any water resistant chemicals or or the chemicals which make the concrete more water resistant, more watertight. You can add any admixture to the concrete which is used in the damp proof course. Then once this is hardened, you should apply 2 coats of hot bitumen layer over it, and over it you should paste a polythene sheet layer in the vertical direction, right? This is the detail of the vertical DPC. By the way, you can also do PCC using using smaller size aggregate. We call it normally you must have heard about the zero size chips, zero size marble chips, or zero size aggregates that are used in PCC and that can be used in the vertical damp proof course, right? Now, next thing is 4.5 inches wide wall. Uh, 4.5 inches wide wall. Over here, there is only one wall, which is 4.5 inches wide, and it is placed at the property limit. This is the section for the boundary wall, right? You can see it is two-step foundation. Important thing over here is that when your 4.5 inches wide wall goes below the damp proof course or the plinth level, it is converted into 9 inches, and 9 inches is not considered as a step. Step is basically after 9 inches, right? Rest of the things are same. If it is on the inner side of the building, this foundation would be symmetrical foundation, means uh, these steps would be on both sides of the wall, right? So let me quickly answer two of the questions, then we would start a new meeting because this meeting is ending. The foundation depth of 9 inches load bearing wall and 4.5 inches non load bearing wall will be same. Yes, preferably roll number 91. Preferably, the foundation depth should be same. It For non-load bearing walls, you can provide a lesser deep uh, foundation, but in cases when the foundation depth is more means, let's say the NSL is let's say 4 5 feet below the road level, and then again the soil is weak. So you are going, let's say the geotechnical engineer suggests that you have to go uh, let's say 5 feet below the NSL level. In such cases, other measures can be taken in order to save the masonry, right? And you can provide a lesser deep foundation for a non-load bearing wall. Otherwise, provide the same. That is a better option. Column is on the outer boundary. Then what sort of foundation excavation it will have? Yes, it columns are. There is an important question 361. If there is something to discuss, I would share the screen. Is answer the last question uh, was from a student that it is shown in the drawing that the steps are of 3 inches. It is a very special case. Okay, you're not going to follow this. I am going to give you a newer drawing, and the step height would be equal to 6 inches, not equal to 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches can be provided, but you should go for 6 inches. Basically, this is the engineer's decision, but basics is that you have to provide a height of 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to give a new sample to you, doing changes to this file. 103 is asking if there is a column in the outer boundary, then what sort of foundation excavation it will have. Its foundation will be same as that of wall. Look, column can be of two types: concrete column or masonry column. If there is a masonry column would have foundation similar to that of a wall, stepped foundation, and the steps would be extending on all sides. But if the column is at the property limit, obviously it cannot cross the property limit, right? For concrete columns, the foundation is also concrete, and if it is not at the property limit, you would provide the foundation pad all around. If it is at the property limit, it would be on one side only, right? Sometimes if there are a number of columns, we go for combined foundations, but normally in houses, there are only one or two columns. We provide isolated foundations for such type of columns, and there is no problem. You have to simply provide the foundation pad on one side of the column, right? 103, is it okay? The basic idea is that you cannot cross the property limit. 103, is your question answered? 73 is asking, sir, can the foundation step is of cement concrete for a masonry wall? Normally, for a masonry wall or masonry column, the foundation is always masonry. But in some special cases, the masonry wall can have concrete foundation. For example, there was a project in southern Punjab and the southern Punjab area and some parts of the Sindh. In that area, the problem was of flooding, and up to the plinth level, the foundation and whatever the structure was there was of concrete. There were concrete walls and concrete foundation, and above the plinth level, there were masonry walls, right? So normally, masonry walls would have masonry foundations, stepped foundations, but if you are going for concrete foundation, uh, concrete foundation is not limited to steps. Okay, steps is the requirement of masonry depending upon the basic shape of the masonry unit. But in case of concrete foundation, you can provide any shape. You can provide a pad, or you can provide um, an inclined foundation. No need of providing steps in concrete foundation. 103 is asking width of pad will be same as that of wall foundation. No, the concrete foundation design is basically the idea is very simple. Whatever is the bearing capacity of the soil. Let's say the bearing capacity of the soil at 3 feet below the NSL is 1 ton per square foot. So it means that whatever load you are going to apply over the soil should be less than 1 ton. 1 ton is 1000 kgs per square feet. So whatever load you are applying on the soil should be less than 1000 kgs per square foot. And depending upon this idea, this concept, you calculate the size of the footing, right? S- So in this way, the size of the concrete pad is decided. In your case, you can provide a pad of uh, 3 feet by 4 feet, or 4 feet by 5 feet, whatever is fine, right? 3 feet by 3 feet is also fine. 3 feet by 4 feet. Make it a rectangular footing because your column would be a rectangular column, right? So 94 is asking, do we have to change the number of steps if number of stories change? Also, screen is not visible. Yes, I'm only answering your questions. Screen is not visible. If you want to discuss anything on the screen, I would open the screen. But you are asking 94 roll number. 94 roll number is asking, do we have to change the number of steps if number of stories changes? Yes, obviously. Look, if number of stories would increase, basically the load coming from the top would increase, and depending upon the bearing capacity of the soil, you have to increase the width of foundations. So when width of foundation is to be increased, number of steps in masonry wall would increase. Uh, there is a question from roll number 61. DPC thickness for 4.5 inches and 9 inches can be different? No, thickness cannot be different. Why it can be different? If you are providing 1.5 inch is the minimum required thickness of low, is the minimum required thickness of horizontal DPCs. If you are providing 1.5 for load carrying wall, provide 1.5 for partition walls. Similarly, if you are providing 2 inches or 3 inches, the thickness should remain the same. Why? Because the masonry work would be at the same level. Okay, you cannot change the thickness. And if you are talking about width of the DPC, width mean that under 4.5, I've shown you that 9 inches wide is the DPC. uh, it may it may be possible at some location, and it may not be possible at some location. For example, if you have seen construction, you would find out that under doors you do not provide damp proof courses. The reason is that you have to fix the door frames, and it is to go inside the flooring to have a grip. In such cases, you discontinue the damp proof courses wherever there are doors, right? Secondly, uh,